Hello guys, my name is NaToSaphiX. Today we have another video. This time it is yet another video for Play.gg. Today we'll be doing our pick and predictions for the Challenger stage at IEM Rio. And if you have checked my Twitter, you will see I did a tournament for the RMRs where we had to predict who would go through and like who would end up in what kind of position. And I actually ended up winning it with 33 points, 2 more than the second place finish. So I am definitely warmed up for the pick and predictions here for the Challenger stage. And to not waste your time, I'm going to be doing this super speedy. So I will be talking pretty fast, but I hope you'll be able to understand what I'm saying either way. Now, to get the safe ones out the way, Vitality, number 1 in the world. Even though they lost to Australis last night, I expect them to go through. Cloud9, I see as actually the team that will perform the strongest in the whole Challenger stage. So I give both of these a confidence rating of a solid 5. The reason that I take the strongest team down here and not here is because if Cloud9 just lose one match, I don't get a point for them if I put them at the 3-0. But if you place them here, I think it's a gifted point, basically. I don't see a world where they don't go through, as I really have a lot of faith in them, but maybe I'm completely jinxing it now. Now, for the next pick, I'm going to be taking Furia, one of the more experienced teams at the majors, and a team who has a very high top level. They have a decent sort of average level as well, and I see them as going through. I don't have too much like faith in them. I would say this is kind of a confidence rating of, let's call it a 3. If you don't feel like they are going to be going through, you could put them as your 3-0 team, but I'm going to be keeping them here for me. Now for Mouse, I'm going to give them also a confidence rating of 3. I don't think they look particularly good at the RMRs, but they didn't look bad either, honestly, and I think in most other tournaments we've seen them in, they have looked quite good. They are a very young team, and I think now that they've overcome the hurdle of just getting stickers, they will maybe relax a little bit more and they'll be able to play their own game. They're also facing a lot of teams from different regions, and I think the base of Mouse is just strong enough to make it through this stage. I feel kind of the same with Fnatic. They also are, even though they don't have the youngest players in terms of age, they still have quite inexperienced players. Fastshot getting his first sticker ever. And now that they've overcome that obstacle, again, I see them as performing better, as we've seen them perform quite well in a lot of other tournaments. I give them a confidence rating of maybe, let's say, a 3 also. Maybe put Furia and Fnatic at a 3.5. A little bit more confident in them than Mouse, for example. For the next 2 picks, I'm going to be picking OG. I don't think that they are a particularly amazing team, but man-to-man, they have one of the strongest lineups, on paper at this stage, in my opinion. A lot of talent, a lot of older players as well, and there's a dog in the background. But yeah, happy with my OG pick for now. Confidence rating, I don't know, 2.5 maybe. Not too confident, but I think it's one of the better picks at this tournament. For the last pick in the bottom bracket, I'm going to be picking Big. The reason I'm taking them is because I think they've looked pretty decent and they normally play quite well at the major. A confidence rating of maybe only a 2, honestly. I think this is the most unsafe of my picks. Now, the reason I've placed them here is because I am going to be placing outsiders in the 3-0 bracket. They just won ESL Rotterdam, and in my opinion, they have a really high top level, but their bottom level is also very low. Their playstyle is quite gimmicky. They're playing in a very certain way, and they are one of the teams most prone to anti-stratting, I would say. For me, a team that could honestly just beat everyone at this stage, but could also fail to make it through, and that's why I've decided to put them in 3-0. They are starting out against Mouse, and I could honestly see them win, as they have the momentum coming from Rotterdam, where they beat out Mouse, for example, and that's why I've decided to put them in the 3-0. Other than that, to talk quickly about the teams that I did not pick, so you can get my reasoning for why I didn't pick them. Evo Geniuses did well at the NARMR, but other than that, they haven't accomplished too much, and I think they are just too unsafe, basically, so that's why I've decided not to go with them. If you feel like they really are going to make it, you could pick them. I see them as possible contenders for one of the spots, but I've decided not to pick them. Bad News Eagles, bad run of form lately. Rigon, one of their star players, has been sort of AFK in the brain area for the last month, if you check his statistics. If he doesn't wake up, I would be surprised to see them going through. I feel pretty confident in not picking them in this stage, but obviously I like the players on the team, so if they could surprise me, I would love to see it. 9set, I see as a team who won't make it. I don't think they will go 0-3. I think they will win one match, but I don't see them winning it. Gamer Legion, in my opinion, definitely will not go 0-3. I think they have 9set in the opening match, but I don't see them as going through. I do think, though, it's the same as the Evo Geniuses pick. If you feel like Gamer Legion is going through, I'm not going to stop you of putting them in your pick'ems, as I think it's not that bad of a pick. They did show some worrying signs with closing out matches, especially at the RMR, and with this stage having a little bit tougher opponents, you'd say. I think Gamer Legion are not going to make it, even though I think they will beat 9-set in the opening match, for example. 00 Nation, I just don't think are honestly that great. I could see them going 0-3 here, but they are a bit of an unknown entity, as my time zone is not that great to watch the NA matches. I've watched some of the matches at the RMR, but I've not followed their scene too closely, so I'm not going to be picking them for 0-3. IHC, I predicted to win the Asia RMR, and I think mechanical skill-wise, they're actually potentially one of the top teams at the event. At least the star players are mechanically, I think, able to duke it out against some of the best teams at this stage of the tournament. But technically, they are not that great. I see them honestly winning 1 or 2 games, but I don't see them going through to the next stage, so I haven't placed them anywhere here, you know. But I don't see them as going 0-3. For Imperial, it is Brazil. They get land buff, legendary players, of course. I see them winning 1. I see them honestly winning 2 as well, but I don't think they're going to be making the next stage, so that's why I haven't picked them. And that leads us to Greyhound Gaming, who I am going to be locking in as my 0-3 pick. The reason for this is that they came from the weakest RMR, the Asia RMR, and they didn't even win it. Now, I've seen them play, and I wasn't particularly impressed. Individually, they have a few key players who are quite interesting. Alistair, I think statistically he's not performing super well right now, but he has in the past performed very well, and he is a player who might be able to step it up for this stage. Inns has been super solid, and Vexite seems to be a guy who has pretty damn good mechanical skill, but I feel like strategically they're just not there, and I think it's one of the weakest Australian sides we've potentially ever seen in a sort of major cycle. So I have them as a pretty safe 0-3 pick. Obviously there are some best of ones at the beginning, and there are other, I would say, bad teams that they might run into, but I feel very good about this 0-3 pick. It is a little bit luck based with the 3-0 and the 0-3, of course, but Greyhound Gaming is a solid pick in my eyes. So with that, this is my pick'ems. Make sure to go and follow me on Twitter, because I'm the type of guy who might second guess myself before the stage actually starts, typically 1 or 2 days before. I might switch something, I might not, but following me on Twitter and making sure to check for updates is the safest way to make sure you can follow my pick and predictions if that's something that you would like. For now, that is it from me. Thank you so much for watching the video, and make sure to check out play.gg, a CSGO news site who make great content here on YouTube where you might be watching it, or if you're on my channel, just go and check them out. It's a very nice site run by amazing people, and they definitely deserve to be getting a view from you. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and follow my Twitter for updates on the pick'ems. For now, I'm going to be leaving you, but yeah, I hope you enjoy the major and get that diamond coin.